Hey guys, this is Anon, and today I have some nice KV-2 gameplay for you today. I inadvertently kind of turned this week into Derp week because my second video for the week later on is also going to be of a Derp tank, and so there we go, we're just going to derp all week. It's just kind of how it turned out. So I've had a lot of requests to do the KV-2, and it's a really hard tank to ace. The bar is always set really high on it, so it took me a little while to accumulate a couple gameplays for it because I just don't play it super often. But it is a tank I really enjoy. I find it's fairly relaxing but also infuriating because where there's lots of derp tanks out there, and kind of the nature of the beast is that you're going to miss a lot of shots, the KV-2 tends to be the worst at it. The accuracy is totally awful, but once you connect, man, it's just a beautiful thing. So here on the new rock field and pushing right up into kind of this nice little hold down spot, and that's going to be my position for a lot of the battle unless red wants to push me out of it, because this tank is extremely strong here, especially being top tier. So anytime I see a tank start to pop out at me, I'm just going to angle and give a little bit of a wiggle and then kind of move along, and it gives me an opportunity to reload that gun. The biggest things to kind of keep in mind with the KV-2 are really positioning and making sure you have cover to let yourself reload. The reload time is extremely long, and your armor is only okay, especially in the hull, so you need to make sure you can always kind of roll back and protect and allow yourself that time to reload. Otherwise, you're just going to get obliterated with that extremely long, I mean, close to 20-second aim time. So I'm struggling with this T150 here a little bit because he has decided to roll right up into my spot too, but unfortunately every time he moves forward and back, he's not doing it in a straight line, and angles a little different, so I'm struggling with him a little bit. But got some nice shots in here. I love that this Easy 8 has decided to just kind of roll up and give me time to aim into his side armor, so I get a nice big roll there, and I'm really just trying to keep the battle in front of me. I'm keeping an eye on the minimap to make sure nothing is starting to flank, and so I can keep all the tanks right here in front of me, and then it's just kind of a battle of attrition. If you're playing the KV-2 right, I mean, these are battles that should go pretty slowly as much as you can because you're only firing so often. You want to kind of just make sure the red fears your gun and doesn't feel like they can necessarily push in on you if that's possible, while just kind of farming damage as much as you can. So you can see here I'm still struggling with these angles because he just isn't giving me a lot of room to work, but you know, sometimes you have to battle your team just as much. Get a really lucky shot there on that Kuro, which is fantastic, and here's where I'm trying to tell him that he's making it difficult, because that time he even hit me as I was trying to pull out. But you know, like I said, it happens sometimes. I would assume he's kind of a newer player and doesn't understand, so I'm not gonna stress about it a whole lot. I'm just gonna work. If you kind of come up on this left side of tanks like this, sometimes, you know, when they're going in and out, especially since I'm so tall, I should be able to kind of control so he's not ramming me quite so much, and that seems to work here a little bit. So I've gotten into a 3 versus 3 here at this point, and they're kind of spread out in front. That KV-2 is going to keep me from pushing too hard, because if he gets a good shot, a KV-2 can one-shot another KV-2. So you have to be really careful of that, and there's no reason to waste the shot, because you know, in a game like this, you're always should be a little concerned about your team being able to pull it out if you kind of make the mistake and get killed too early. So like I said, playing that game of attrition, he's moving in and out, and I'm especially that time since he peeks, I'm hoping just to aim so he'll peek and get another shot, but the T150 decides to go ahead and push up in there and block the shot. So I'm hoping this toaster then will keep backing up the way he has been, and hopefully I can get that kind of shot in. But like I said, I'm just waiting for them to make a mistake at this point. This is a pretty defensible position. If they were to all rush at the same time, I could back up and at least get 2 shots in, which is pretty much the game. So just trying to be careful with that. Luckily the toaster pulls back enough, which is that mistake I was kind of waiting to happen, and can go ahead and finish him off. So can mostly wanting to pay attention to this VKP, which the T150 does a good, or the SU-100Y does a good job of taking out. And now you can tell just kind of by the way the KV-2 is rolling that he's aiming to drop off the back of the hill, which is a pretty good move. because if he's able to reload and I don't pursue straight down here like I'm going to, he might be able to get a shot in and kind of extend the game. But luckily I was able to push that in, and that was an okay rush, because if I had missed, I could just keep rolling straight forward and get into cover and enough time to reload again. So like I said, a lot of times the KV-2, if you're playing it right, isn't going to create the most interesting and exciting gameplays, because you're that support tank. It's just not always going to be those frontline battles. It's kind of a tricky thing that you don't want to snipe because you'll never hit anything, but you definitely don't want to be in the front line unless you're just choosing the tanks you're facing really carefully. You're definitely more that midline level. Ideally you have a few tanks in front of you, and definitely not rolling alone, because as soon as you fire once, if the team has any clue whatsoever, they'll be able to rush you. So. Alright, so now we're into this second game, which just has some nice kind of awareness in it. So I'm pushing up to the right side. Sorry it ended up being 2 high-tier games. It just kind of what happened. Like I said, the bar for the ace on this tank is pretty high, so you just kind of take it whenever you can get it. So I'm pretty sure our Dunes team is not going to do well, and I don't particularly like the KV-2 in Dunes, because it doesn't have much gun depression, and because of the hills out there, if a team is doing a good job, they can roll around and pretty much minimize you. So when the M6 rolls around, I'm hoping to get that side shot, because that'll give me good HE, but since he turns forward, I go ahead and switch the AP rounds, which you do always have that chance of bounce, but when you hit it, it's still those nice 600 rolls, so I'd rather take that higher chance of damage anytime I can in this tank. Take a shot from the left, and I don't know if you noticed it, but the minimap popped up, and I could tell that he was on the ramp by the train cars, so now I just need to be a little bit careful about rolling forward. That's why I rolled back just enough, because it was so obvious where he was, and that's why I'm being a little cautious rolling out now. I'm not sure what it was. It didn't do a ton of damage, but I want to make sure I'm not taking unnecessary damage as I kind of roll out here. So once I see it, I can tell that it's that T-25 sitting up there who has really nice soft-sided turret, and he's clearly awake, but I figure if he's going to sit there, I might as well take the Hail Mary shot and see if I can get it, and it goes in beautifully. You're going to miss a ton of those shots in the KV-2, but if they sit still like that, and let you fully aim, I mean, it's not impossible. So sometimes you just got to take those kind of trick shots, just like in that first battle against I don't remember which one it was, a Japanese tank that was questioning the validity of that shot there for a second, if you caught it. But alright, so now again, I'm always working for that cover. I can see exactly where all 4 of their tanks are, and so I can use this section of train track, especially since they're to my left, to essentially be hold down and be able to reload anytime I need to. And so you're just waiting for tanks to make the mistakes, like that Leopard does, running down across. Again, a shot you're not going to always hit, but that one was close enough that you're going to hit it the majority of the time. So now I can just wait for that gun to reload, kind of keep that VK starts to push, and that's why I pop adrenaline, because I'm a little concerned he's going to come right out, and unfortunately he hits the brakes and times that really well, so I missed the shot. But apparently he's more concerned about my teammate around cap than he is me, so he's going to give me plenty of time to reload, which is perfect. I'm a little also concerned at this point because I know we're up a tank, but I can see kind of how our guys are spread out, so that doesn't build a lot of confidence. But I'm able to get that nice cupola shot on the VK, and at that point that obviously pretty much secures it, but you don't want to wait around because I don't know what my teammate is doing around cap. He's just kind of sitting, so that's not a good position, so you're thinking he's probably not going to be super helpful, and then my other teammate dies. So it's a good chance to go ahead and push. I just want to be careful about the shot because you don't want to miss it here, because he'd have time to go ahead and circle, and you could lose that game. So again, another one, it just kind of feels like rolling around and shooting, but it's mostly about those positionings. I was always making sure there's a few tanks in front of me, or that I have really solid cover for those reload times, and just was able to pull that out. So as always, if you like this video, feel free to subscribe on YouTube. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and follow on Twitch. Lots of streams lately, so take care.